All right, everyone, welcome back into another props video. Going to be touching on the top prop bets here for Flex Friday, but guys, it's going to be a jam-packed video here for you guys. So we're going to be getting into a recap from yesterday. Another good day, very awesome run that we're on. We'll touch on that in just a second. Going to be getting into the Flex Friday slip, but we also are getting a Tyreek Hill discount on PrizePicks as well. We have a bunch of good college basketball, college football, NFL, and NBA picks. So stay tuned to that, guys. We'll be giving you guys a PrizePicks slip for sure. If we have some good underdog bets, I'll touch on that as well. Let's go ahead and get into that recap from yesterday. Now, guys, looking at it, yesterday was obviously a great day. Again, going 9-4-13 on the day yesterday. The two slips that we gave out on Underdog ended up hitting. This one for NBA yesterday, the other one for NFL yesterday ended up cashing very comfortably. PrizePicks bets go 4 for 6. Got very close to going 5 for 6. And then the Thursday night football game, 1 for 3. We had 2 pushes, which was expected. I touched on that a decent amount. So another great day, guys, just crushing it over the last, well, for a while now, but this week has been really great. That being said, if we don't have a good day, we know why. We're just probably due for a day of regression here, but let's go ahead and get into the picks today. And we are getting a bunch of good picks today. So maybe it won't regress today, but we'll see. So I want to start with this first college football prop bet, guys. And I do want to compare it against a PrizePicks line, against the underdog line that we are getting. So guys, this is a lot like last week where we got a college football prop bet that was on the board for quite some time. I'm going to assume that's going to be the case again today with this bet for college football, where we're seeing his anytime touchdowns is under at 0.7x on the underdog. And so I'm doing that to show you guys that, okay, it probably isn't a 70% likelihood, but at the same time, definitely the under is a way to go. This is definitely a small sample size being drawn into this, probably 1 or 2 bets, sports books that are just aggressive with it. But at the same time, we do see how much underdog is discounting that line. So it is going to be a good bet for us. We should be using that. If it misses, like kind of, oh, well, honestly, if you guys are worried about it missing, you could honestly just bet the over because it's almost a 2x payout. That is how much of an edge we are currently gaining on that one. Another bet that I'm a little bit annoyed with that it's still on the board is this Miles Price one. And then also, for that matter, Jeremiah Smith for his over 4.5 receptions. And the reason why I'd be annoyed by this is because I've already gotten a lot of volume in on both of these bets to the point where it's like, all right, guys, just bump them. Yeah, bump them. Get them out of my sight because they are such good edges and they've been there for so long. And so let's go ahead and take a peek at all those 3 college football prop bets that we are getting. We do see that Fernando Mendoza, he has mostly gone this under a decent amount, so that's good for us. The matchup against Stafford, probably a little bit worrisome since it's a good matchup for him. We look at Price, not normally a high volume receiver, and obviously gets a difficult matchup this week going against Ohio State. I think that's a strong reason as to why probably the under is being the favorite here. Averaging about 2.8 over his last 5, though. We see that. And then Jeremiah Smith, I'm kind of indifferent about this one if I want to go on it. He's averaging the over his last 5, but that's due to one kind of outlier against Oregon. We'll see. These are good bets on paper. Again, I've already gotten a decent amount of volume on these. These were on the bet of the day like 2 days ago. All right, that's how long they've been on the board. So a little bit annoying there. So then let's go ahead and jump on into some college basketball prop bets here. So we got Ryan Kalkbrenner for over his fantasy score here. And this is one where if we look at his game log thus far this season, he's been really right around there. If you look at his per minute average, he has been able to get this over. And I say that because hopefully in this matchup, like the game's a little bit closer. It's not like they've been playing good teams lately. And the fact that it's kind of weird. So I'll just show you guys the minutes here. So it's much easier to explain this way. The fact that he has been able to get close to the overs or the overs while playing limited minutes, like 22, and 29 minutes, that to me is pretty big. Now, if he ends up getting 36 minutes in this game like you would expect him to get, or around, let's say, 33, those extra minutes, I do expect him to be able to get the over, especially in a matchup where they might need him to actually go out and play well. Because in these other games, that hasn't been the point of emphasis. Okay, so he is someone that I do expect to go off, especially in a game that shouldn't be as much of a blowout or as much of a blowout right away as well. And so that's really the bet there, is Nebraska not doing too terribly. And for what's worth, I will be interested to see if the underdog line comes out for him for one, and kind of what it would be, because we have seen a decent prop line difference for him through the days that he's actually been available for bets. And so I actually think Underdog probably will be closer to the average sportsbook line. They've been much more in line with what Vegas has seen for their bets. So that could be a potential winning opportunity, and I kind of think it will be. Let's go ahead and get into another college basketball bet. We got Juwan Roberts for under his fantasy score. Again, I like the fact that the projection data is telling us to bet the under. I like the fact that the average sportsbook line is telling us to bet the under because their line is at 24.8. We're seeing that the PrizePicks line is at 27.5. Now we look at his game log. We're going to see kind of the same thing with like Ryan Kalkbrenner, where they're not exactly playing like too many good teams. The one kind of good program, Auburn Tigers, he got the under there. And I do think that's important to call because like the minutes really haven't been there for him. Not a ton of minutes, except in that game against Auburn, where he ended up getting 38 minutes in that game and wasn't able to get the over. Now, this is a team in which Houston should be able to blow out. So I'm kind of expecting the minutes to not be there for him. Now, he could easily be the cause for this game being a blowout, but we haven't really seen that thus far. And so I get why Vegas is telling us to bet the under there. Not exactly my favorite bet, but not terrible there. And then we are getting some like more okay college basketball prop bets as well. Stephen Ashworth to get over his fantasy score. This one has a 53.7% edge. Cooper Flagg to get over his fantasy score as well. We're seeing a decent prop line difference between how Vegas sees that and how the projection data sees it as well. So that's a decent bet for us. And then another one that I think is worth calling out here as well is going to be Ishmael Leggett, where we're seeing his fantasy scores at 29.5. The average sportsbook line would be favoring it closer to 32.3, and the projection data also likes the over there as well. So those bets all correlate as well, which is obviously a good thing there. All pretty strong bets for college basketball tonight. And I do want to call this one as well. His line has definitely dropped. Yesterday, he was the one that missed. It was at 30.5. Just missed out on game is over. Now, the matchup against Tennessee, apparently not going to be as good. Now, this game last night did go into double OT. We kind of got lucky there with the bet of the day yesterday. But the fact that this line is now down, coming in off of a terrible night shooting for him last night, I just don't expect that to continue. I typically like to bet on guys that are coming in off of a poor night shooting to have a good night shooting. Regression to the mean. Basically, we see that a lot in the NBA. A lot of people were on like Grant Williams yesterday for his overs, and the data was telling us to bet the under. That was one of the best bets. Unfortunately, as I finished the video, that bet was taken away. Very annoying as a content producer for you guys. That was annoying. Tilting there. But that's where, typical regression to mean. And so I could see VJ going out and having a good game in this game as well. And then let's just go ahead and highlight some of the bets that we are getting for NFL here. Westbrook Akine, if you guys follow me for NFL DFS, you've noticed that I've been on him as a value play over the last 3 weeks, which has worked out luckily. But it's been a lot of like lucky deep ball catches. You would expect that to not happen again. So I could get behind that. Terry McLaurin to get under his fantasy score. We have seen his production kind of fall off a little bit. I could see that happening. Tank Dell as well, where, I'm okay with these. Not exactly ones I feel like I need to go out of my way to target. Hunter Henry for under his fantasy score as well. Kind of okay with it. DeAndre Hopkins to get over his fantasy score kind of sticks out to me just with the amount of under fantasy score prop bets that are currently popping up via the average Vegas line. So I'm kind of okay with that one. That kind of stands out to me. We are getting a lot of just good EV bets then as well for college football here with some kicking points as well. Again, those reception lines. So we are getting almost too many good prop bets, guys. That's the issue that we had today. That's what happened last Friday as well. We got Jeremiah Grant for under his rebounds, 3.5 right now. That's a decent one. But let's go ahead and get into some of my favorite bets. If you guys were looking at the underdogs lines, you probably already saw a couple of them. But let's go ahead and jump into. I got 3 bets that I really like. Now, again, if this bet's still available, the Grant rebounds, you do want to be betting that. It's a good EV bet, obviously. And so let's go ahead and start out with Portland. So Portland's going to be pretty thin tonight. I'm expecting Scoot Henderson to sit tonight. We already know that DeAndre Ayton is going to be out, though. And Anthony Simons could sit as well, although I expect Simons to be back tonight or good to go for tonight's game. But Donovan Kling-Yang, I do like his over, probably over points and rebounds the most. We see his projected minutes. I'm assuming that the projected minutes are wrong. That's really what I'm hoping for here. I'm hoping that he gets more run than this. We do need him to get more run than this. And it might not be by much because we see the minutes that have been there for him. And so like it might only be 3 more minutes, 4 more minutes. But if he does get that extra run, I do see him being able to get this over. Like his per 36 production would tell us that he would be able to crush this over. Not really worth mentioning there because I don't think he's going to get 36 minutes. Again, we only have him projected to get 18, 19 if you round up. But again, I think there's a chance that he actually ends up getting more than that. And so I don't hate that bet. Not exactly like a bet that's like the best bet, but also not terrible. I am hoping that we get more bets for Portland as well, because Shaden Sharp is someone that should benefit a decent amount. Sharp is someone that averages like almost 26 points per 36, has a 30% usage rate. And Banton as well. Banton, someone that averages almost 7 assists, has a 28% usage rate, and averages 23 points. So those are two players that will benefit with Scoot Henderson off the court, as I'm expecting to occur. Another player that I want to talk about is going to be Kyrie Irving. I'm a little bit surprised at the lines that we are getting for him today, specifically his points. You look at his per 36 production with Luka off the court, it's pretty massive. About a 30% usage rate, averages 30 points per 36 with Luka off the court. Projected to get 36 minutes in this game. It's a close game as well, only a 3-point spread there. Look at the game total, 226.5, like not a game that we'd be avoiding. And so Kyrie's something that could go cold and maybe defer to the pass a little bit more. But all in all, I like his opportunity. I like his chance to get this over there as well. And then one bet that actually stood out to me is going to be James Harden to get under 6.5 rebounds. I like that better. You can get that on Underdog, actually, or even 6 rebounds. Okay, James Harden, you look at his per 36 production with Norman Powell off the court and Kawhi Leonard off the court. He only averages 5.5 rebounds per 36. Now, we know Harden can be someone that gets more than 36 minutes. He's projected to get 35 in this game, so might not get the over, or I should say, I get why the line's the way it is. And sorry, apologies. I was saying rebounds. I mean assists, guys. Assists, not rebounds. Apologies there. Assists. He averages 5.5 assists per 36 with those players off the court. For what it's worth, he averages 7.8 rebounds per 36 with Powell and also Kawhi Leonard off the court. But yeah, 5.5 rebound or assists per 36. Jeez. We look at the data, it all is saying that, yeah, chances are he's going to get like 8.5 here. And so I like the under there. I think that's a good kind of plus bet that you can be on. Like yesterday, guys, with the NBA bets where both the unders were favored, and so the payout was a little bit better for you guys on Underdog. That's how this will be with Harden. And so real quickly, this would be kind of, if I had to give an Underdog bet of the day, these are my 3 favorite. But again, guys, these are more my 3 favorite bets for NBA today as the day started. Now, these could be changing throughout the day, obviously. If there are better bets that are made available, like the Jeremy Grant under rebounds, by all means, we want to be using those. And then I do want to call, before I get into the PrizePicks bet of the day, there is this Tyreek Hill Turkey Day prop, which I think shouldn't have been made available just yet. But make sure to be taking advantage of that with some bets that obviously you feel strongly with. Again, if you guys have never signed up for PrizePicks or Underdog before and you guys are looking to use those bets, make sure to use the promo codes that you saw during this video, or they're in the link in the description below. Take advantage of those, guys. That does help out the channel as well. And it does not go unnoticed. I do appreciate that, guys. That's how I'm able to reinvest in the channel a bunch, and it really, really does help. If you guys want access to any of the tools, though, that you saw in this video from 9to5sports.com, head on over there, get access to them for just $10 a month. When we use the promo code KEEPCASH and get the first month for $8. Or if you're a returning member, you also get to use that promo code as well. All right, so I'm going to give kind of 2 bets of the day out here for Flex Friday. And the reason I'm doing this is kind of twofold. One, some of these bets could get bumped, and I'm fully aware that like the Price and Smith one could get bumped, or maybe the odds just update throughout the day once more sportsbooks get in there. That is something that does occur closer to game time, obviously, for college football. That's something that could happen. And then the Mendoza under touchdowns, obviously that's the best bet that we currently have. And so obviously we want to be chasing the under there as well. So do you want to make that clear? For the bet of the day that I'm going to be showing you guys, if this bet is still available, by all means, we should be using that. And again, you could, in a weird way, almost have an arbitrage bet by using the over on Underdog because of how PrizePicks is not discounting the payout. The fact that PrizePicks still has this line available. If you bet the over on Underdog, let's say if they have a token, that could end up rewarding you guys, especially with the Flex Friday slip, where if it doesn't hit, and maybe he's the reason why it doesn't hit, you're not losing money. And so then here's what the Flex Friday bet of the day for Friday games would be, assuming that none of those other bets get bumped. Again, concentrating on today's games, trying to give you guys bets for that. Now, there will be more NBA bets that pop in. It's a Friday, guys. We get so many good bets. It is tough to dial in on kind of one specific way we should go about attacking, but do like these bets. These are all pretty solid. Obviously, we're getting some pretty good edges on all of these bets. And I do want to call it. We've been on an insanely good run. Okay, do not be surprised if we have a bad day today, which honestly, if it does happen, I would prefer it happen on a Friday, where if you guys are using my bet slips, we're not losing out on any money off of that bet slip. So that's going to do it for today's video, guys. Again, if you guys want access to any of the tools that you saw in this video, head on over to 95sports.com, get access to those for just $10 a month. Make sure to leave a like, guys. Trying to get to 100 likes per video. That does help out the channel a lot. Obviously, I've been releasing these videos a little bit later on. That's for your guys' advantage, to make the information the best it can be as possible at the time of releasing these videos. If you do it too early, we're not getting enough data coming in, and so I release it as late as possible without terribly hurting the channel out too much, and I do that for you guys. All right, thanks for watching, guys. Good luck, and as always, let's keep cashing.